Hey bitches, welcome to episode 48 of Roll for Girl Dinner, where we let the dice answer the age-old question, what should we have for dinner? Today we'll be using these dice. These are my dice. I call them girl dice. Now let's get started with a roll for protein. 1. Anchovies. Today we've got these, no we don't. Hold on. Let's fix this. Take 2. Today we've got these Wild Planet Wild White Anchovies. They're good until 2028. And I know we all know that I have a tendency to ignore expiration dates, but 2015 was a little egregious. Next up, let's roll for some cheese. 7. Provolone. And of course we'll be using Tillamook's provolone farm style slices. It's my favorite. Now it's time to roll for some vegetables. That's going to be a 4 for green beans and a 12 for roll 2 dice. And now we have a 3 for broccoli and an 8 for cherry tomatoes. This just kind of feels like the dice is trying to get me to eat more fiber, which, fair enough. I do need to eat more fiber, but actually there is no but. And I really like all of these, so this is not a bad roll at all. Moving on to the roll for carrier. 5. Spam. Today we'll be using classic spam, and I think you know that I'm going to spam you with the spam in the TikTok shop because it's funny. Now let's roll for some Razzle Dazzle. That's a 2 for apple and a 5 for Mama Lil's peppers. I don't know what kind of variety this apple is or even how it appeared in my apartment, but it's here and we rolled for it. Today we'll be using the pickled mildly spicy variety of Mama Lil's peppers, and I feel like these are going to go really nicely with basically everything on this plate. I mean, they go well with basically everything. Time to get saucy with the roll for sauce. 10. Thousand Island. Today we'll be using Lighthouse brand Thousand Island, and honestly, I feel like this is the absolute ideal because I love dipping raw vegetables in Thousand Island. Now let's wrap this up with a roll for sparkling water. 8. Black raspberry. You know, I feel like it's been quite a while since I've had this flavor, which is odd because I do really like it. All right, let's eat, bitches. But first, let's get our poured. And of course, we can never forget the leftover coffee. The amount of food on this plate is honestly a little bit daunting, so I don't even know where to start. But this seems... Oh, okay. I guess I'll just start with the green beans. Not like they're poisonous or anything. But also, there's just no way I'm finishing all the food on this plate. There is so much of it. But never fear, nothing ever goes to waste. I'm not throwing it away. It'll just be for later. Now, thinking about how we can combine things, the raw vegetables don't really mix that well, but that's okay because I'm just going to dip it in the salad dressing. And I'm just very curious about how the anchovies are going to be with the spam. Probably all too salty, but let's give it a shot anyway. We'll add some of the cheese that'll kind of tone down the flavor a little bit, as well as a little bit of the peppers to, I don't know what it's going to do, but let's just see how it goes. This might be the strangest surf and turf I've ever had, but it's actually oddly good. Though I do have to say these anchovies taste more like sardines than anchovies. I'm a little confused by that. I had to triple check the packaging after this because I was like, these are sardines. These are not anchovies. They're definitely sardines. But no, apparently they're anchovies. Though it's probably a good thing that these are the most sardine-like anchovies that I've ever had because I feel like the saltiness of the spam combined with anchovies that are more anchovy-like would be overwhelming. And the combination here works really well because it has such a mild flavor. I do regret not adding a dollop of the Thousand Island dressing on top just to see what it would taste like because I actually think that would be pretty good, but my loss. And of course, now we come to the point in the episode where I ask myself, if I were playing a character who would rate this girl dinner a perfect 10, who would I be? Allow me to introduce Zadrina Ashfair, a dark elf from a wealthy family who grew up hearing stories of her older sister's exploits as an exchange student in a neighboring kingdom, where she lived with a poor family of dwarves who taught her the value of hard work and self-reliance. Zadrina dreamed of doing the same thing, but at this point, political tensions were a little too high, to such an extent that the program had been canceled. But you can't let a little political unrest stop a girl from getting what she wants. She ran away in the dark of night and, in a neighboring kingdom, found a small cottage in the woods that she promptly entered and demanded that they take her in and teach her about life. As luck would have it, the cottage that she entered was inhabited by a group of gnomes with psionic powers who had been forced to live in the woods as they were deemed too creepy by their hometown and kicked out. They did in fact take her in and educated her on what had been really happening in the two kingdoms and how the ruling class were exploiting the poor. When she revealed that she was the daughter of a high-ranking nobleman, they secretly planned to ransom her back, as one does. Upon finding the ransom note that they had been working on, she decided that not only would she not be a pawn from them, but that she would take from the source of their powers, an apple of a sacred tree. Upon biting from the apple, she became a warlock of the sacred arbor and a conduit of the tree's powers. Once again, she set out in the dark of the night to see what else the wide world could offer her. If I were her, I would rate this a perfect 10. As it is, I, Kendra, give it a 7.
This is my meal. I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl